Golden Key is a partnership-based system change programme. We work with over 50 partners, including statutory services, commissioners, the voluntary sector, and people with lived experience across Bristol. We work together to understand and address the challenges that the current system can present for people with complex needs. We are 6 years into our programme and have developed an approach to change that supports our efforts at partnership working in complex systems and with complex clients. The Golden Key approach to change is a visual tool designed to help us think about how we can work systematically. It can also be used to evaluate whether a system has in fact changed. The model took a year to develop and was informed by a range of stakeholders from our partnership, our lived experience consultants, and our board members. It has received overwhelmingly positive feedback from partners, both locally and nationally. The Golden Key approach to change has 3 key sections. The first sets out how a series of questions designed to support partnerships to agree their overarching purpose. The second focuses on creating the conditions for change. The final section explores areas that might indicate whether a system is healthy. This tool is designed as an illustration of the type of things to consider. It is not prescriptive, and we understand that locality-based change has the best chance of success. In different contexts, some of the questions, conditions, or indicators of a healthy system might be different. In this case, the model can still provide a framework for how to approach system change, and we would encourage any partnerships to consider their own questions and scope. The dialogue required to do this would create an excellent starting point. Creating an overarching purpose. Building trust is central to the process, and these questions are designed for use with your partners. It assumes you have already identified partners who share your ambition. Working through these questions together will help you to agree your overarching purpose. If it is hard to reach a consensus, we would encourage you to return to the questions. You may find that there are areas which haven't been fully explored. We have found 2 questions to be particularly challenging, and it may be useful to consider these at greater length. These are: where does power lie within the system, and what is our desired future state? We've found that power becomes less of a challenge when there are higher levels of trust, and it could be useful to consider the opportunities you have for increasing trust among your partnership. This may require a shift of power or a shared commitment to openness. We now move on to the second section, creating the conditions of possibility. Central to any partnership-based system change process is the importance of taking time to build trust. Partners can achieve more together than separately. We have also found that in order to maintain this trust, it is essential to work reflectively. The 4 characters in the top left are considering important questions which individual members should ask themselves and for the whole group to be mindful of. These are: what are we learning? How are we growing trusted relationships? And do we agree what a healthy system looks like? When things take time, as they should, or when you begin to question whether your course of action is appropriate, which you should, these questions can help. When working in partnership-based system change, it is important to stay aware of the pressures on the system, as these will impact you as individuals, as organisations, and on those with whom you work. This diagram illustrates some consistent pressures which we identified. However, we know there are others, and there will, of course, be locality-specific pressures. It is not essential to identify all the individual pressures. It is, however, extremely important to acknowledge that they exist and can impact on how we interact in the system. We have found that the impact of those pressures can be reduced simply by acknowledging them. Our model puts lived experience at the heart of system change. Lived experience will mean many things depending on the system you are working within and the nature of the change you are agreed upon. How people with lived experience influence change will also vary. Examples include the employment of peer researchers, the use of survey data, and the opportunity for people with lived experience to become board members. It may take time to get the right approach, and we would encourage any system change partnership to explore opportunities in this area. It is likely that this involvement will evolve as the work develops and as those with lived experience gain confidence and skills. Underneath the diagram of the road is a series of words: enabling, connecting, compassion, supporting. These describe behaviours which will support partnership and trust building and are relevant to the early question about understanding the state we need to be in as individuals. If these behaviours aren't present, it is important to take time, as a group, to reflect on why and understand together how you can adopt them. Whilst undertaking your change activity, it is recommended that you revisit your overarching purpose on a regular basis. You may also want to do this if you feel progress has stalled or if you aren't achieving what you hope to. We now move to the third section, what a healthy system looks like. This section offers examples of indicators for a healthy system. The system you are seeking to change may have different indicators to those represented here. We have used this section to assess the extent to which system change is happening through independent evaluation. For instance, questions such as how much work is informed by lived experience can be fairly easily assessed and progress can be mapped. Again, it is useful to review this section on a regular basis. If there are areas which aren't being addressed, they may be the cause of any challenges you experience. This has been a brief overview of Golden Key's approach to change and highlights the learning of the partnership to date. It is hoped that, with adjustments for local contexts, the model will serve as a useful reference point and tool for other partnership-based system change activities and projects.